Now, about a big Australia and about big immigration levels. Of course, one of the inevitabilities of our borders reopening is that international workers will be able to rejoin us. And it will happen not just by the tens of, but by the hundreds of thousands. I think most people disagree with this, and the union movement can see what this can mean when it comes to wages and jobs. Daniel Walton is the National Secretary of the Australian Workers Union, and he joins us again. Daniel, nice to talk to you, mate. This is, immigration, every bureaucrat loves it because it's basically pump priming population. Population leads to more taxes, rah. But of course, more people competing in a job market means wages stay stagnant or go down. They don't go up as people have to hold on to the few workers that are around. Is that in part your concern?
Yeah, absolutely. Ironically, this isn't coming from the bureaucrats in the public service. This is actually coming from the big business lobby. What they've done is they've come out and said, we need an extra 200,000 people to come in, 200,000 migrants on top of the numbers that were forecast and in place already, to come in to occupy a whole lot of skills shortage areas in the country. Now, they say that at the same time, Paul, and 330,000 Australians have just fallen out of work in the last 3 months alone. They do so coming off the back of a pandemic where there are around 1.9 million Australians looking for more hours of work. And what we know is when they call for migration, they're not calling for the good migration that we've seen this country built off, where people get to get over here and settle down and set their roots up. They're talking about cheap and temporary migration. They're talking about people as students coming over, and they're talking about working holiday makers.
Now, again, the idea that it's big business, and surprise, big business couldn't care less about small business or small workers. They want to deal with big things and big tick-offs. But again, it speaks to their expectation that when they're dealing with people like yourself and other union people, that if they can go and bus in workers from somewhere else, they can work around all of the systems that are currently in place to protect local workers, the people who, in many cases, and I think about this all the time, right? Where are the companies giving special proper rewards to the people working on basic wages who were working in the shops, that were doing all of the stuff while everyone else was shut up inside? You haven't heard anything from that. Instead, these same businesses, via their lobby groups, are trying to find ways to bus in different workers.
Yeah, well, the underlying story, or I guess the supposed argument here, is that there are not enough Australians with the right skills to undertake this work. It's this beautiful circular argument. When I wrote about it the other day, I talked about it as like a human centipede type effect. So what they do is they essentially drop down providing any training and development for young Australians, apprenticeship numbers, right? So over the last 10 years, the last year of the Labor government had just under 400,000 apprentices. And in 2020, we had just over 130,000. So the numbers have been plummeting. Business are not training people, they're not developing people. Their model of operation is to bring in migrants over, cheap migrants, to fill those positions on a temporary basis. And what we've seen play out now over the last couple of years, and you expect a trade unionist to say this, but look at what the RBA has said here, that wages have been stagnant, wages are not going up, and this is a major problem. We need wages growth in this country, and to do so, we need good, stable jobs. We need jobs where people can go to the bank and get a mortgage, where people can go down and support the small businesses that you were talking about before in their local community. They can get their kids through school and all the sporting events. Where we've got this two-tiered economy in place, where we've got the temporary migration in place with no support, no structure, wages get smashed, workers get exploited, and our country continues to grow this bad reputation.
Yeah, I'm with you completely. This is the thing where there'll be lots of people in the next little while that'll say, vote for us because we want higher wages. This is how you get higher wages, right? Exactly what Daniel's talking about making sure that you can have a system where the scarce number of workers that are around right now, they are protected, but also the people who have been left behind as a result of lockdowns and all the rest of it, they're brought back into the system before we open the door everywhere else. Daniel, again, thank you very much.
Cheers, Paul.